AD, how many good things did you do for yesterday for people and animals? How many good things did you do yesterday? And how many good things were done for you yesterday? This is God, meditate Him in prayer. Glendora, care and share. There's two paths. Which path did you choose? The path to evil or selfishness, or the path to selflessness and helping others? Which path did you choose? This is .com kitty cat, 91 years old, and this is the 4th time she's been fed today. And she is being fed vegan kibble called Ami. I love. It is made in Italy, and I buy it from Vegan Essentials in Wisconsin. Now, we're not teaching you anything new. Everything that we talk about, you know, because it is inside of you. Did we take the right path? I know on one occasion, yesterday, I didn't. I lost my self-possession. I went to great effort and strength and time and energy to do something nice for somebody. Make things comfortable for somebody. Left that somebody to use it, and that somebody was just too lazy or too selfish or too obtuse, it's a nice word for it, to use it. It just lay there, fallow. And I lost my self-possession about that. I was wrong, I'm sorry, and I intend to make it up. Did you lay the foundation of the day yesterday? Did you get up and get washed and get dressed and look all nice and keep America beautiful and wear good clothes instead of kids' clothes, t-shirts and blue jeans? Okay, little kitty. You've had enough? Okay.
Call from Cole.
Sorry. I have to call you later. Now, did you lay the foundation yesterday spiritually? As we said once, you wouldn't think of going outdoors without laying the foundation physically and getting dressed and looking nice. So you wouldn't think of going outdoors and laying the foundation spiritually and not knowing which end is up. And the end that is up is selflessness and helping others. And after that, after I do those two things, lay the foundation of the day physically, the house and the kitty cat, and try to look good, and spiritually, the first thing is the video with you. God, meditate Him in prayer. The George Journal has to be done. List of things that happened up to this point. And then the video with you, and that was done. And then exercise the body, the calisthenics, what people nowadays call physical therapy. Not that I have any. because I don't have any doctors and I don't have any medicines. And then the telephoning. It was about 13 calls. They're all very important. Gregory helped me do them. I record the in calls for you because they are information to pass on to you that might be of value. And then I asked Gregory to make a copy of the address list for the 47 TV stations to whom we send the great message, these TV shows, which is it's what you give and not what you get. That is the message that will make people happy, the only one that will make them happy. And after we send that to 47 TV stations, so we need the list for the next cycle, which is for the TV shows to be cablecast when? February and March. I asked Gregory to boost the audio on the brand new monitor. I said go to the audio board and see how to operate it and then get us some really good volume. Well, very, very rarely does this ever happen. He's failed at that, and I think he has to go back and visit again, or I'll have to ask somebody else to do it. That audio should be big and strong, just the way it is on the great big monitor. And then I asked Gregory to understand the Canon camcorder so that when you press stop, it will go back to the individual scenes. It will stop playing a scene, it will go back to the individual ones. Well, I guess there's nothing more than what we've always been doing. There wasn't a great progress on that. Is you press it and hold it down and then get out of there quickly and get your scenes back. Because the Canon messed that all up Monday, it really messed up all of the shows that went on the internet and some that went to the TV stations. But we got fascinated by the Canon camcorder's ability to take still pictures. And I'm beginning to think that possibly the quality of the still pictures that the Canon camcorder takes is as good as the still pictures that the LG Android Stylo 2 takes. Those pictures are so clear and crisp and professional. I don't see how photographers stay in business anymore. And we made 5 photos to test those, and what we'll do is go outdoors and we'll make 5 more photos. And then we'll take them over to Walmart and we'll have them printed from the camcorder onto photo paper. And then see how we like the quality as compared to the Stylo 2 LG Android. At 11 o'clock un punto, everything we stopped, even though there were a whole lot of things not done. And we packed up to go to the post office to post those 47 packages of 4 TV shows each for October to be for December, to be cablecast in December and to be repeated in January. Then we filled Gregory's truck with gasoline, and that was $40, $2.61 a gallon. And we went down bucolic route, Columbia County, 203, 17, 66 through Chatham into Ghent, where we went to the Whitestone cafeteria, and I treated Gregory to 4 tables of smorgasbord. That's $8 a piece. And Maria was there, somebody I've known from the Whitestone for 5 or 6, 7 years. And Gregory did the Whitestone great service. He had 1 load from the great big long salad bar, and another load from the steam table, and another load from dessert. He had several rolls and some kind of a spread. And we ate for an hour and a half, from noon to 1:30. And that caused trouble with the alimentary canal. And the post office helped me relieve that. And then Kathy, Jolly Kathy, started plugging the packages of 4 DVDs each to go to these 47 TV shows to get the message across that we're getting across right now. Good deeds. No self. The postage, not for the ones that were being posted today or yesterday, because that has already been paid for on the last time we went there. But the postage for the coming months, $175. 10 books of the $1.15 stamps, 4 books of Purple Hearts, Forever stamp, and I don't know what that's worth now. Is it 49 cents, 48 cents, 47 cents? And 4 books of the 21-cent stamp, that's for the 2nd ounce, first class. The first ounce costs 49 or 48, 47, and the 2nd ounce costs only 21. Did you know that? That's a wonderful thing, Post Office. Thank you. So, it was a triumph to see those go out all over the country, from Boston to San Diego, Portland, Oregon, San Antonio, San Jose, San Francisco, Los Alamos, Trenton, Montgomery County, Maryland, all the way up the East Coast, Long Island, 6 or 7 of them in New York State, and about 20 of them in the state of Connecticut, 3 or 4 of them in Massachusetts, and Chicago. I got to make out papers for Chicago, and that's got to be done today while Gregory's here to give the eyesight, because I can't see them. Well, on the way out of the Whitestone cafeteria to the post office, there was a tremendous rainstorm. Great, I'm always glad to see rain. And then after we went to the post office, we went back to Happy House 2. And it's shabby compared to this one, Happy House 3, where everything is just perfect. And we saw a rainbow. Oh, isn't that fun? The electromagnetic spectrum in the visible light section, from red to purple. Roy G. Biv. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. What a grand sight to see. We tried to get a picture of it for you. for you to enjoy it. Then we went to see Robert Cohen, the founder and owner of Amanda's Fireplace and BAC, Bob A. Cohen, distributors of stoves and fireplaces. And he was pretty surprised to see us. But it was a friendship visit in memory of the 6 years. Let's see, the museum was on his property. He rented it to us $75 a month from November of 2003 to about May of 2012. 8 years. I remember giving him a check for $800 for the museum rent for the whole year, 1 year, 2011, 2012. We went across Route 22 where the great big heads are, the sculptor. These heads are this tall, about this wide. There used to be 4 of them, and it looked to me like they were playing bridge, but now there's 3. And the artist there, the Oh My Art Studio. Then we went down the old post road, narrow and dirty. That's all people had in the old days to go from Albany to Boston. That's all they had in those days. And it emptied out onto Route 20, which dips and dives and curves, and comes out into Stockport, and that comes out into Route 9. And we went down South Route 9 to my favorite store, the Salvation Army. And we bought Gregory 2 sport coats, or blazers, and 2 ties. He's my doll, my boy doll, and I like to dress him up. The way that you dress up your... Who were those other dolls that you dressed up? Ken doll. And then we went to Walmart in Hudson, and how I remember when that store opened. I remember the old Walmart, which is much smaller and which I liked very much. I used to spend about $1,000 a month there, every month. And then they moved and went into the big Walmart, and they didn't want to fulfill the contract because of the economy, but they had to. They were in a contract. So they had to take it. But they have improved it so much. I saw my dear friend Debbie, who is head of the electronics department there, and she's worked for Walmart for 23 years. Victor, one of her workers, went over 3 apps for me on the LG Android computer phone. Every day I ask somebody to explain those apps, and then my getting the benefit of them and helping others through them. Well, Victor did that, and he did it very nicely. I told the joke about 24 times what happened the first time it snowed in Atlanta. The natives thought it was an explosion of grits. Well, Victor says, I was in Atlanta the first time it snowed. He says it was only a sprinkle, according to us New York people. And they called in Buffalo, and they called in people from all over the country to plow. And it really wasn't that much to plow. So, we looked bewildered in the aisle, and a nice Walmart clerk, an associate, said, can I help you? And that's the great thing about the people at Walmart. They're so willing. And they help you with such alacrity. And I said, well, I would like to have a bench to sit down here with my friend and go over the shopping list. He says, oh, well, there's down at customer service, there's benches over at where the restrooms are. There's benches. And he says, and there's some somewhere else. He told me some. So we went and found a nice bench, and we went over Gregory's list, where his to-do list was mixed in with the grocery list and the shopping list. We sorted it all out, and then Gregory says, I've got to get going to get these things done. He says, you can stay here and I'll do them. Well, it is true. I would really slow him down. So out on his own, he was gone about an hour, and I sat in that bench near the restrooms and meditated and counted my blessings and rejoiced and got my contacts up to date with the highest. And Gregory came back. Well, I wanted him to have another 2 pair of those pants that are lined with fleece, that are so nice and warm, and I wanted him to have a 3rd set of thermal underwear, long underwear. And I decided to buy a pair of those pants myself because I like the fleece inside. And he did grocery shopping and bought a new cake tin. I gave my neighbor half of a cake in the cake tin, and I don't expect to ever see the cake tin again because my neighbor takes a long time to do things. I asked her to get me some vegan ice cream one time, and it was 5 weeks before that happened. I asked her when she went to the art store to get me some broad writing pens, and she didn't get that done for 8 weeks, give them to me. So I don't expect ever to see my cake tin. Maybe when they move in January, it will come back. But whether it does or not, in the meantime we need another cake tin. And the checkout young man was new, and it was his very first day, and he had an air of gentility about him, and he took his time with all of the punching up the computer and with the change, and it was using up the change. I don't like to come back with a whole lot of change. I like to have big bills, and that applies to the coins also. And then he had a supervisor, excuse me, there punching up with him. And I greeted them both with great friendliness and confidence and gave them the benefit of happiness and being at ease. I did not see my friend Kathy Friedenborg, who has worked for Walmart, I think, for 16 years at checkout. And I did not see my friend Carol, who has worked for Walmart for about 6 years. But it was by 6 o'clock by then. So Greg went and got the truck and brought it to the doorway for me so I wouldn't fall in the dark. And then I watched a man turn in movies in a machine in a red box. And he would put the movie in a slot. Then he'd press numbers on the red box. And I saw him do that for 3 movies. And I asked Gregory what was that all about. He says, well, Blockbuster went out of business because people got their movies in other ways. And so this was one of the ways today that they get their movies. We had our store treat. I chose Lay's potato chips, original, little tiny bag, and Gregory chose Fritos. And we rode home in the dark, and Gregory is a superb driver. I love the way he drives a car. It's impeccable. And we went all the way up Route 9, the old Albany, Manhattan Post Road. And we went through Stockville and Stockport and Greenport and Columbiaville and what's the next one after Columbiaville? And there's a couple I'm missing. And then into Stuyvesant. This is all along the Hudson Valley, you see, Hudson River. And Kinderhook and Valatia and North Chatham and to Happy House 3. And Gregory did a whiz job on unloading everything and putting things away. He said that he would put the expenses in the book for me, but he didn't. That is bad. That's when you begin to lose trust. And he said he would take care of the cash. Okay. I was exhausted, having got up at 5 o'clock in the morning, non-stop, for the rest of the day. And I was asleep by 8:30 and woke up at 12:30, or wide awake, ready to do another day's work. So you lie in bed, and I have a micro cassette, an audio cassette, and I laid down all of the good deeds that had happened that day and what was to happen tomorrow. And then I said, well, give yourself, that was at somewhere around 1:30, and I said, give yourself another 15 minutes, and if you're not asleep, then get up and go to work. And so at 1:30, that's what I did, 1:30 a.m. I went to work and tidied up the Happy House 3 and took care of .com and made her very content and very happy. She has a new box now, folks. She's not going to sleep on the desk in front of you anymore. She's sleeping over on the auxiliary table in a great, great big deep box. So you won't be seeing her anymore every day the way you did. And then the Joy Journal. And then the God Meditate Him in Prayer. And then the Listen and List. What your conscience said to do tomorrow. By that time it was 3:45, back to bed, into a deep sleep until the alarm at 5 o'clock. Did not want to get up, but did get up. And lay the foundation physical, and lay the foundation spiritual. And just as I was about to do your video, Gregory wanted to pay his automobile insurance using my credit card, okay? And then Gregory and I added up the money that we have spent paying him since the year 2006. And I don't know if I can find that for you. It's 8,000 something. And then we wrote out the money, 3,000 something, that we had given Gregory in advance for carrying on the museum. 8,096 we have paid Gregory since the year 2006. And 3,463 we have paid Gregory in advance to take care of the Glendora Franklin Museum after Glendora's spirit leaves her body. And we wrote out an agreement that we had done that and what he would do in return for it, and we both signed it. Printed our names, signed it, and dated it. Meanwhile, Robert Jackson called me, and he works for a company that does the cable casting of 11 big cable networks. Arts and entertainment, history, the ones that you watch on cable TV, the great, great, great big ones. They cable cast them from Stamford, Connecticut. And a very, very, very big mistake went by all of the other operators. But Robert Jackson caught it. And if he hadn't caught it, it would have been a disaster for the cable TV networks, all these big cable TV networks, but also a disaster for the company that's doing the cable casting. So my friend Robert Jackson caught the error and told his supervisor and saved both companies. And an executive from one of the, companies thanked him. He told me the story. I listened to it with suspense. It's a great, great, great story. And when I talk to him on Monday, when he reads me the church bulletin on Monday, reads it to you rather, I will ask him to tell me that story again. It's such a sweet story, how he saved them. That's what we're all about. That's helping others. So today's word is ugly. Today's word is Rock of Ages cleft for me. Look, the sun is a glare, I can't see. Along with other reasons I can't see. Let me hide myself in thee. Let the water and the blood. It is. Yesterday was a bass or a bash. Yesterday was a bash. Well, this is a bass. No, yesterday was a bass and today is a bash. And it means to destroy the self-possession of. Think about that. To abash somebody is to destroy his self-possession. Pretty bad, isn't it? What's your self-possession? When you know that helping others and selflessness is the way to go, not ego and selfishness. That's pretty bad to destroy somebody's self-possession. To humble somebody. To humiliate somebody. To mortify somebody. To shame. Put to shame somebody. What an ugly word and what a terrible thing to do. And we won't do that. And thank you for helping me not do it. To humble, to destroy the self-possession of. To humiliate, to mortify, to shame. But we have a remedy for that. That's today's hymn. Who said this? This is my commandment unto you, that you love one another as I have loved you. Who said that? Who said it? This is my commandment to you. You love one another as I have loved you. This is my commandment to you. You love one another as I have loved you. Bible passage. Colossians, Apostle Paul's letter, epistle to the Apostle Colossians, chapter 1, verse 22. In his body, of his strength, that he may present you as holy. Would you like to be presented as holy? Presented to the world as holy? And listen to this. Unblemished. Wouldn't it be great to be unblemished? Wouldn't that be great to be perfect? I always wanted to be perfect, and I never have been. I like it. In the 6th chapter of the Sermon on the Mount, Matthew 6, the last line, or is it Matthew 5? Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect. We must be, because we are all made up. We do make up the Father in heaven, all of us together collectively. That's what the universe is. That's what God is. That you may be presented as holy and unblemished and unreprovable. I like it, I like it. Will you help me do that, please? Will you? Please, will you help me do that? In his sight. Holy, unblemished, and unreprovable in his sight. Colossians 1, verse 22. The man said, vacation's no problem to me. My wife tells me where we're going, and the boss tells me when I'm going. And vacations is the time of year when they close the roads and open the detours, right, folks? And the auctioneer said, sold to the woman whose husband has his hand over her mouth. And a man says, I expect my wife to live a long, long, long life. Why? She has 3 closets full of clothes that she wouldn't be caught dead in. Pete says, I always let my wife have the last word. I always let my wife have the last word. And Joe says, you're lucky, mine never gets to hers. And one poor husband says, my wife has a strange attitude. Well, she says, you know how a person will start a book and it gets so interesting they can't put it down till they finish it? Well, this husband says his wife has that strange attitude about a checkbook. Once she checks one, she can't, once she starts one, she can't put it down till she finishes it. And one husband says, you've overdrawn again. She says, no, you underdeposited. What are 4 bad words for a housewife? Cook, wash, dust, iron. Glendora, care and share. On the 17th of November. No, yeah. November's half over. Oh, we are voracious devourers of time. This is my commandment. My commandment to you. You love one another. As I have loved you.
Let us break together on our knees. Let us break bread together on our knees.
James Dixon, Manhattan Fan.
End of message. To erase this message, press 7. To send a reply message, press 8. To save it. Message erased. Next message.
Glendora, James Dixon, I'm in the library, so email address. All right, thank you.
End of message. To erase this message, press 7. To send message erased. Next message.
Hi, Glendora, it's Sandy. Sorry I haven't talked to you in so long. I had a great visit with my parents. They're doing so much better. And we had the 3 kids there, David, Alyssa, and Carrie, my mom and dad, and my friend Andrea and Andrew and I. And we stayed up late playing Pictionary, which is a game where it's kind of like charades, but you draw a picture of it instead of acting it out. And we laughed a lot, and everybody was good. So it was really nice. And anyway, that's that news. And school is going well. The children are very wonderful. And that's all my news. And I hope that you are well. And I hope to talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank you, friend Sandy Blakeman.
End of message. To erase this message, press 7. Message erased. Next message.
Hello, this is Mike from Albany. Just checking in to see how you're doing. I haven't heard back from you for a while, so I hope you're doing all right. Give me a call, and have a great holiday. Glendora. Bye-bye.
End of message. To erase this message, press 7. To send a reply message, to replay this message, press 4.
Hello, this is Mike from Albany. Just checking in to see how you're doing. I haven't heard back from you for a while, so I hope you're doing all right. Give me a call, and have a great holiday. Okay, Glendora. Bye-bye.
End of message. To erase this message, press 7. Message erased. End of new messages. First saved voice message.
Mr. Phileas has not submitted his Synology application so he could upload his pilot. So that's what we're waiting for right now for a chat with Glendora. So if you are in contact with Mr. Phileas, please ask him to check his email. He was emailed on October 27th at 6:43 p.m. asking that he apply for Synology so they can upload his pilot. If any questions or concerns, my number is 718-960-1183. I can also be reached via email at bernardo@bronxnet.org. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
End of message. To erase this message, press 7. To save it, press 9. To hear more options. Message skipped. Next message.
Hi, Glendora, it's Robert. Rob Jackson. I got your messages. Okay, I'll see what I can find out from Bernardo. Sorry I haven't been in touch. Takes time to take care of a lot of errands, haircut, new glasses, which I got to pick up tomorrow morning. It's just had a lot of crazy things taken care of. I had to take care of, personal things. So, okay, yeah, I'll see what I can find out from him. It sounds like he wants a demonstration DVD. From what you said, I guess that's the last step. I could probably arrange to send him something myself, but I'll get in touch with him and find out what's going on with that. Okay. Other than that, next week I'm in the process of sending out next week's shows. So that's more to do. So okay, I'll probably try to give you Friday morning. I might have to go back to the optometrist tomorrow. Pick up the glasses in the morning.
He did.
So, if there's some time left,
And we're going to talk again Monday morning, and he will try to send
I'll
what
give you a call on Friday.
Bernardo
Okay,
wants
take care.
now.
Hope all is well. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you, great person. Hi there, everybody. It's Glendora. Benny says that he always lets his wife have the last word. And Peter says, well, you're lucky. Mine never gets to hers. Folks, I'm so thrilled with this Bible passage, I can't wait to get dressed up and tell it to you in our Glendora Care and Share, our morning God Meditate Him in Prayer. This is a knockout. It is Philippians, Paul's epistle to Philippi, and it's the 2nd chapter, and it's the 15th verse. Listen to this. This is the favorite. That you may be blameless. What a thing to do. Were you blameless yesterday? Wouldn't that be great if we could do that? And harmless. Now comes the animals. That's what the American Vegan Society is. Ahimsa, the Indian word for harmless. You don't hurt anybody. You are alert. You live the perfect life with God, and you never harm nor hurt. Oh, Paul, good for you, that you may live blameless and harmless. The sons of God, the children of God, the sons and daughters of God. And that's what we are. That's the oneness. That is the oneness. We're not all separately. We're all together. Some of God. There's just God. That's all there is. And we're all in there together. We're not little bits and pieces. We're not particles. That you may be blameless and harmless, sons and daughters and people of God and animals of God, without rebuke. We got to do it today, folks. We got to do it. Today, we've got to live without rebuke. You can't do anything that would cause rebuke. We just got to do it today. In the midst of a crooked and perverse nation. Yes, yes, yes. That's the evil. That we don't think about. That we don't pay attention to. We just pay attention to the good things. And it is true. We're in the midst of it, but listen to this. In the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, among whom ye shine as light in the world. Oh, don't you love it? So that's the solution. That's what we've been talking about for years. So we're in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, but we shine as lights. Let's do it. We've been doing pretty well. We've been doing pretty well. We're far from perfect, but we've been getting there. We get better and better every day. Just read it once more. What is it now? Philippians. And what chapter? 15. And what verse? Excuse me, chapter 2, brother. And what verse? 15. That you may be blameless and harmless, the sons and daughters of God, without rebuke, in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation. Among whom you shine as lights in the world. Now I'll go get dressed up. Well, first of all, I have to do, I have to listen to the conscience, what the conscience wants done today. Make the list. Listen and list. Then I'll go get dressed up. And we will do God share and share. I want to hear what you did yesterday to help others. And I want to tell you what I did yesterday to help others. This is my commandment to you. You love one another as I have loved you. That comes from John, the book of John. the only disciple who wasn't martyred. Isn't that awful? That they had to die for trying to help people be better. Okie doke, folks, here we are, together, harmless and blameless. I know I'm harmless for sure. I even wouldn't make that fly leave, that house fly. That would walk all over my nose, my hands. And I don't know where the house fly is now. I haven't seen her for 2-3 weeks. She might be hibernating. Okay, God, meditate him in prayer. November 18th, Saturday. Ante-meridian, around 8 a.m. What is it all about? What is it all about? Harmless and blameless, that's a good aspect of it. But that's not the main thrust. The main thrust is what? Helping others. Now, what did you do yesterday to help others? Greg put up posters in Stewart's for the North American Vegetarian Society of these beautiful cows, beautiful pigs, beautiful chickens and hens. How could they look at them and want to destroy them? Those dear sweet animals that have compassion and have friendship and have anxiety and fear. How could they hurt them? How? Live harmlessly, blamelessly, in the midst of a crooked and perverse killing of these sweet babies. And he asked Sunoco if they could head a bulletin board. No, but he will leave it on the table, he says today. Gregory says he will. And let's see, he can, on his way home to Poughkeepsie, he can stop somewhere and put up the rest of them. And Gregory took the letter from the Ridgefield Library, which Bob Farrell tells me is the Gold Coast, is a very rich part of Connecticut. And I said, they have a new library. And he says, oh yes. He says, they have the money. And he was comparing it, of course, to his library in Norwich, which is an older place and maybe not as wealthy. And Gregory took that letter to the director of our, assistant director of our Nassau Free Library, because the letter told about the happiness over their progress. And so we thought that would help our library. And Gregory saw a chipmunk go across Elm Street. Even I can't get across Elm Street with any ease, but the chipmunk made it. That's so cute. We have great videos of chipmunks. They're so sweet. The right side of the museum, the starboard side, Gregory says is done. Everything is painted, the touch-ups are done, and the labels, the brand new labels, and good handwriting and good calligraphy are done. And he says the left side, the fort side, is a mess. But he was over there from 11 a.m. to about 7 p.m. Even after dark, he would paint with the phone, with the flashlight on his phone. Gregory did the color wash and Gregory did the whitewash, and we folded it all together and put it all away. Glendora, what were your good deeds? Well, I got this body all ready to do work for you, the physical side and then the spiritual side. Those are the first two things. That takes about from 5 a.m. to about 6:30 a.m. physical, and the spiritual takes about an hour. God time, meditate Him in prayer. Gregory and I did the bookkeeping together. We entered so many expenses of Thursday. We spent all that money Thursday. And we entered that. Gregory has been paid since the year 2006, $8,096, and he has been paid in advance to take care of the Glendora Franklin Museum, $3,462. $23 telephone calls. 23 telephone calls. Good feeling. Good, good, good. They help people so much. Oh, that's a good thing to do. Many of them are Chat with Glendora calls, the Glendora Public Access Television Network. There's always got something to do on that. Well, why wouldn't it be? There are 67 affiliates from Boston to San Diego. And Glenny did, while Gregory was over at the museum, Glenny did the in-mail. It wasn't bad. The advertiser was kind enough to print the article for the Glendora Vegetarian Club, and it is a knockout article. You know what it is, folks? It's Isaiah 11, verse 6, where the wolf and the leopard shall dwell together. The lion and the lamb shall lie down together. The lion shall eat straw, as the bull does, as the cow does. The bear and some kind of other animal will graze together. In other words, they won't be eating each other. There won't be any meat eating. They shall not harm nor hurt. On my holy mountain, on God's holy mountain, they shall not harm or hurt, because the world shall be filled with God as the waters cover the sea. Isaiah 11, 6. Now, Glendora Vegetarian Club. That's good. Paul would like that. $19,600, about almost $20,000 we spent, and that includes donations and all the vegetarian food that we buy for people and give away. And 880 hours, almost 900 hours, and almost 700 pages. The Think folder. That's, there wasn't anything in there to think about much. Just list of the events that had happened around the Happy House 3 for the past 10 days. The computer phone. Not in bad shape at all. In fact, primary and social were empty. I bet that doesn't happen very often. And Twitter, Facebook, yellow, and Facebook top hat, Facebook public, and Facebook friends. There was one problem. Facebook friends didn't have any audio in the fifth joke down. I don't know why that happens. And that's all. And the weather. The weather's been superlative in November. You know, a week ago, Monday of this week, we had about 5 inches of snow. And it was quite changed life considerably. And that's when the piece of ice came down. No, I'm here. And the piece of ice slid off the roof and went within 2 feet of me onto the top of the recycle bin and smashed into about 100 pieces. And I was not killed. For some reason, I was not killed. Now, listen, and Bronxnet is still a problem. What does that man want now? You know, he's already asked 10 times more than all the other TV stations have asked for. He got his lengthy 4-page application, when most TV stations do it in 1 page. He got that. He got his proof of residency. Tom Phileas sent in his rent receipt. And now he's talking about something he has to have so he can do a pilot? There's no such thing in public access as a pilot. There's no editorial control. You take the program as it is. If I sent in 30 seconds of black, you would have to play it. As long as it isn't obscene, as long as it isn't nudity, and as long as it isn't indecent. Those are the only 3 things that are not constitutionally protected. And he talks so fast, folks, I can't think. He talks faster than I can think. Okay, my friend Robert Jackson will help me out on that. And I'm so pleased with my friend Robert Jackson, who is a superior person. I would say he's blameless. I would say he's harmless. Well, Robert Jackson saved his company, almost saved it from being expunged, and almost saved a cable television high-priced network from great disaster. Because he caught something in the computer that none of the other operators saw. They didn't see it, but he did. And poor Robert, he's lost the vision, I think, pretty much in his left eye. I think it's only his right eye. And he, with that impaired vision, saw that. And nobody else did. And he saved those 2 entities. The cable television network and the people who cablecast it for the cable television network. And Monday morning, you and I are going to meet with Robert, and he's going to read us the meditation from his church bulletin, which are always make you feel good all over. Now, here's the big one of the day. You know, we've been working on, which is another recalcitrant cable access administrator. And this has taken about 2 years or maybe 3. And we did this and we did that. We went over there. We tried all these things. We went through all kinds of hoops and exercises to get this thing done. And Mary Taylor came through. I told Mary, all you have to do, Mary, is take your application into Gil Martinez and say to Gil that you want this program played on the Hartford Public Access TV, and that will do it. Apparently she did. Well, I didn't call up with the next step, which is, did Mary Taylor do it? No, I just jumped over that step and I just called up and I said, what time are you cable casting a chat with Glendora? 11 p.m. Sunday. It's done, folks. Hip, hip, hooray. Thank you, Gil Martinez, at last. I suppose it's well if it ends well. As Shakespeare said, all's well that ends well. So that is a great triumph, a great entertainment. I wouldn't call it exactly a victory. Yes, I think it was. I think it was a victory over a few evils, like procrastination and like egotism instead of public service, which is public access. And now here is a great one. This has not happened for weeks. We've done the work. Gregory came back to the happy house after doing all that hard work in the museum for 6 or 7 hours. And he was just not in condition to go on television and talk to you and pass on the very important information that comes across our desk to send to you. So, I'll do what he said, and that was adjourned until this morning, and we'll be doing that right after we finish Glendora Care and Share. Okay, I did my part. Now you do yours. You call me up and tell me. Debbie Holden covered it for me. She gave me a good account of her speech and the course she took online. And I've forgotten how much it cost. $250, $50. Anyway, it was a course in making yourself clear, making yourself articulate, saying what you mean and meaning what you say, and getting it across to people. How are you and I doing on that? That's right down our endeavor. So her show and tell was very good. All right. Hymn. We're going to stick with yesterday's hymn, so it's so beautiful. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. This is my commandment to you. You love one another as I have loved you. And of course you know who said that. The personification of helping others. Jesus the Christ. Jesus the Anointed One. And where did he say it? Somewhere in the book of John. It couldn't be shorter, it couldn't be more perspicacious, it couldn't be more pellucid. This is my commandment to you. You love one another as I have loved you. Now, the Bible passage we covered and how. Okay, jokes? The little boy was in the back of the church, and there were all these names on a plaque on the wall. And the priest said, "Those are the names of our people who died in the service." And the little boy said, "Which service, 9:30 or 11:30? The minister said, "The first person who rises gets to pick the first 3 hymns." So the old maid rose quickly and said, "I pick him and him and him." Well, God made Adam, right? And he looks them all over. And then God said, "I can do better than that." And that's when he made woman. Why couldn't Mozart find his teacher? What? Why couldn't Mozart find his teacher? His teacher was Haydn. This man told me a very funny thing, an event in the life of him and his wife. They went out and they bought a brand new computer. They brought it home and they set it up. And Saturday, their son comes home for the weekend, and their son works in a very high-tech place along Route 128 in the Boston area. And the son steps into the house and he looks at the new computer, and the son says, "Where did you get this old thing?" I went to the New Rochelle yacht, one of the New Rochelle yacht clubs. You know, where the rich like to be separate from us because they've stolen so much money from everybody else. And Bob Hope appeared there. And I had a scrapbook of Bob Hope. I had given him 3 scrapbooks, a fan scrapbook of Bob Hope. I'd given 3 of them when I was in Hollywood and used to see him quite often when he came to the NBC studio at Sunset and Vine, where I was a mimeograph operator in the script service department. Anyway, I had this last scrapbook, and in those days scrapbooks were big. And it said a fan scrapbook of Bob Hope. So I wanted to give him the last one. And so I said to Bob Hope, I said that I had this scrapbook, and would you like it? And he said, sure. And he pointed to this man who was in front of him. He says, send it to Bill Faith. And I was behind Bob Hope as they were walking along. So what did you have there? Do you realize what you had there from the Bible? You had faith, hope, and charity. Now, I have one more joke here, but I can't read my writing. So I have to tell that to you tomorrow. I think we're done. I think we're done Glendora Care and Share for the snowless November, the 18th, Saturday, 2017, Anno Domini. Are you drinking 5 glasses of water a day? Are you counting 40 blessings every hour? You go through every hour and you think about 40 blessings? That's easy enough. There's a million of them. This is my commandment to you. You love one another as I have loved you. Hey there, folks. How are you today? With God we go to spread the joy of life. We win each day the happiness of love. We count our blessings. We give thanks. We give joy. Stop the cruel. Stop the cruel. Welcome, Mr. Gregory Washburn from Poughkeepsie.
Yeah. All right. Hi. Good morning. Good morning, Glendora.
That's Dutchess County, isn't it?
Yes.
Dutchess
Yes, it
County.
is there.
Well, I am so glad you came because this came in the mail from Vegan Outreach. And it is sweet picture, that sweet dear animal. Isn't she darling? Would you cover that? In other words, will you give the information that's in this folder from Vegan Outreach onto the people that I can't read to them?
Oh, yeah? Oh, sure. The vegan outreach. This is the vegan outreach news here from the fall of this year, and let's see.
Show it to the people there.
Yeah, this is the vegan outreach magazine, and it shows some of the contents of your dollars at work for the animals, new booklets. Get to know some faces of vegan outreach and ways to replace eggs in baking.
Good.
And
That's two very big evils.
and
3, because it's terrible for your body.
as it works.
Cholesterol, heart trouble.
And there inside it shows many pictures of people working, working to have a plant-based diet
Oh, really?
for no meat, and it shows some of the new booklets that they're coming out with. They have Spanish speakers. They have booklets in different languages, and
What are the names, dear? Of the booklets.
the booklets. Let's see. It says. It's called. One's called Everyone Loves Music. It says it's a joint creation with a factory farming awareness coalition. Targets concert goers interested in the environment and spirituality.
Great.
And what is another one? What is speciesism? Frames veganism as a critical way to oppose speciesism and stand up for justice. It says that we're very excited about it and hope to have a hand in making speciesism a household term like vegan is today.
Yes.
And it says to visit them online to view and order booklets.
Visit them online, what?
Visit them on their website online to order the booklets.
And what is their website? Vegan
It's,
Outreach Program.
Yeah, veganoutreach.org.
Oh, you don't need to know. You just put it in the search.
And it shows some of the faces here of the vegan outreach. It shows the outreach coordinator.
Name?
The name's Alexis Clark.
Alexis, thank you, Alexis Clark.
And they ask questions and answers. It says, how did you get involved with vegan outreach and leafleting? It states, she says, I actually found out about vegan outreach when I received a leaflet my first year at Rutgers University. Once I went vegan, I immediately wanted to join the fight to end violence towards animals.
I'm with you.
I contacted Vegan Outreach to ask about internships and was put in contact with outreach coordinator Kimberly Moffat. I leafleted with her as a volunteer for 2 weeks at several New Jersey schools. And
Wonderful. New Jersey?
In New Jersey, and now it says now
Jersey.
I'm on my own tour. It says.
Oh, great.
And
I'll tell you another thing that Vegan Outreach does. They follow the bands that go from university to university, and then the audience.
They do.
Yeah, and then they pass out their leaflets. She said, and then they show them a film of what the horrible things these darling animals go through, and then they ask them to take a pledge to be vegan, and that's how they convert and enlighten people.
And also in here, there's a man here, Emmanuel Marquez. He's the Mexico outreach coordinator, and he's asked how has the response been to vegan outreach in Mexico, and he states it's been wonderful. When I'm on a tour, almost every day I get to meet someone who's interested in changing their eating habits to help animals. Thanks to a leaflet they've received from us. sometimes it can be overwhelming to see so many students reading the booklets on a campus we're visiting.
Yeah, they go after the college group. That's very smart.
Yeah, the colleges with the younger students at college, they have open minds, and they're
That's right.
more progressive today. You would think so.
Than us old folks.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, I don't me to say that. And also it says
I'm not old. I'm only 89.
as far as donating. As far as donating here, it says that your donation would be doubled from
Goody.
between now through December 31st. Your gift today will be matched by an anonymous donor. By donating through their matching challenge, the money will go twice as far for animals. Your generosity fuels all the good work that they do for animals.
How much did we send them?
Vegan outreach. I think we sent them was a money order there? A money order?
No, it was a check.
Sent them a check.
How much?
$20.
No, 50.
Oh, 50.
So isn't that wonderful? It's 100. I think we should send them again.
And
In fact, if you finish with that, I'll take it, and we will. When we do the oatmeal, we'll send them another
All right.
50.
all right. And it shows just quickly. It just shows them the community engagement program, and it shows
We
them
show it
having
to the people, honey.
yeah. It shows there's pictures of having buffet dinners of vegan meals and all that right there. So. Yeah, and egg replacers. There's a replacement ways to replace eggs in recipes there.
Do they mention the egg replacer we use?
They show. Well, this includes the ground of flax seeds and the water and flax seeds.
Oh, that's what holds the.
It's not a particular brand at all, but
I
it's
see. You make it yourself,
but it's
that will hold the ingredients together.
With some mashing a banana, and it's
Mashing a banana.
mashing a banana and
That's what we need to hold us together, you and I.
a tablespoon of vinegar and cornstarch, and they have the recipe right here,
Oh, good.
and it allows you to make a cake that's supposed to have an egg in it, and you can replace that. And Glendora and I, we've actually baked recipes and baked a cake without the egg, and it's been very good. So
Our cakes are delicious. You can buy a box cake, although you have to be careful of the right ingredients in the dry that they give you. But then all you add is a cup of water, half a cup of oil, and you add a 1.5 teaspoons of egg replacer to 2 tablespoons of water, and that makes an egg. So you do that 3 times, and we have beautiful cakes.
okay.
This is hymns, I believe. Would you pick me out a hymn for tomorrow, Greg? All these hymns we've done. The people have heard these. Now what's the next one, baby? What's that hymn?
Oh, let's see, the hymns here. Let's see. There's one here that this is a God of grace and God of glory.
Oh, okay, we'll use that tomorrow. God of grace and God of glory, on thy people pour thy power. Crown our ancient church's story, bring to bud her glorious flower. And I should show you that bud and glorious flower over there. Grant us wisdom, grant us courage, for the facing of this hour, for the facing of this hour. The hour being a chat with Glendora.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you for that. May I have that back?
Oh yes, sir. Yeah, there's There's a lot of hymns. You have a lot
Yes, I think I have a
hymns.
collection of about 90 hymns, maybe it's 100.
Oh, that's a lot.
But that's nothing. Esther Raphael has a collection of about 300 and they're all up here. And she can sing them to you from memory.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I said, how come, Esther? And she said, well, I've been in the church all my life.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's something, but...
And she's a woman now with 3 children and a lovely husband named Benny. You waiting for me? Would you read them that somebody put out, I think it was Edna, my neighbor. She's always coming anonymously and putting things in
yeah.
the chair outside my door.
Well, she just kind of, when you least expect it, and she, before you know she's been here, she comes and goes, and she leaves little generous gifts to us here, like the potted plant we have there, and she seems like a very nice person to me.
I think she's sweet on you, dear.
Yeah.
I know how old Edna is. She's about 78. That's all right. I'm glad to share you with her.
Anyways.
Yeah. Now, what's
Right.
that say? That's something that she brought this creamy weed, and it was in a plastic bag.
Oh,
And
she
that's-
gave that to you, or
Yeah.
this year?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is creamy. It's called creamy wheat, and this is a recipe for it to cook it here. It says it has a 2.5 minute cooking time, which, I mean, you can say that you're too busy to prepare things, but if something only takes like 3 or 4 minutes to get it done, there's no excuse for not preparing these things.
And what is it? 3 tablespoons of creamy wheat and a quarter of a cup of water?
Yeah, the conventional directions are let's see here. It has let's see let's see. Bring water to a boil, and gradually add enriched farina, stirring constantly with a wire whisk until it's well blended, and have it return to a boil, and reduce the heat to a low simmer, uncovered for 2.5 minutes, or until thickened. And it shows for two servings here. Use either water with 2 cups. 2 cups of a creamy wheat, and it explains to you for how many servings, 1 serving or 2 servings. The salt is a quarter teaspoon of salt, which is optional, and let me start again. The water is 2 cups, and the salt would be a quarter teaspoon, which is optional, and the enriched farina. Creamy wheat is a 1/3 cup of that, and bring water to a boil. Gradually add the farina, stirring constantly. Reduce the heat, uncover for 2.5 minutes until thickened, and cool slightly. And that's the instructions of it. It could be cooked in a conventional, or it says you can use a microwave too. But we don't have a microwave for that.
That's how I spend my days, stirring constantly. Thank you.
Yes.
Mom, my mother used to take cream of wheat and mix it with wheatina. Wheatina is very, very strong. You can't get it in the stores. I used to be able to get it at Hannaford. They haven't had it lately. So we get it over the internet. We get it over Amazon. Because I think that is the most salubrious of all of the cereals. It's wheatina. It's just solid wheat, solid protein. But mixing it with a little bit of cream of wheat makes it a little lighter and a little more palatable. What's this page, Greg?
This is, I think, some
Jokes that I can't read?
some of the jokes that.
Yeah, would you, the first page,
which,
see the first page I've done? Does it say done?
Oh, this is done here.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Would you go through that page? and
All
read
right.
my writing that I can't read.
Oh, sure. Yeah, these, Glendora's got a, archives of humor and jokes and wisdom going back a long time. Here's one, the first one is the doctor with the bad news.
Oh, I got that one. Okay,
got
next
that.
one. That's okay, I'll do that
So you
later.
read those. Then
What's the next
then
one?
there's one here, the men's study group here.
Yep, I did that
You
one
did
for
that.
them. Next one?
And let's see. I think you did most of these here. I think.
Nope,
you did,
there's
didn't
4 there that I didn't do.
you?
I can't read them.
There's one that says Texas, geo. What does it say? Something about Texas with a comment. It says begins with a George. Is that a George Braun name? And it says.
Oh,
puppies or
that I
something.
haven't told for years, and that one is so funny. The little boy down in Texas was outside at the end of his driveway trying to find homes for puppies. And George Bush came along and he says, "What kind of puppies are they?" And the little boy says, "They's Republicans." And George Bush went away so happy. And the next day George Bush comes by and he sees a boy with the puppies. And he says, "What kind of puppies are those?" And the little boy says, "They's Democrats." George Bush says, "Yesterday you told me they were Republicans." And the little boy says, "Today they's got their eyes open."
Uh-huh. Okay.
Now go back up here.
Yep. Let's see.
Make sure you get them all. Where'd you leave off up there?
Oh, we got the doctor's news. You did Mozart there.
Yeah, I did that one.
My son works in advanced computers in Boston.
Yeah, we did that one.
They had the men made a pact about baseball in heaven.
Oh yeah, 2 men made a pact. Harry and George. And Harry says, "If you go to heaven first, you'll come down and you'll tell me if they have baseball in heaven." And George says, "Yes, and if I get to heaven first, I'll tell you." Well, Harry died first, and he came back and he said to George, "Good news, they have baseball in heaven." George was ecstatic. Harry says, "There's some bad news. You're pitching Friday night."
Oh, really? No, that's bad news.
Greg never laughs at jokes, so just get used to it. He just never gets them. What's the next one?
Let's see. The men's, you did those. Then there's the pray for the public. I just finished my 4,000th show.
Yeah. Okay, pray for the public. Glendora just finished her 11,780th show.
That's something. Huh. And then there's one here that says she's like a rubber band.
Yeah, what's that about?
You did that. She's like a rubber band. You pull her hard, let go, and she snaps back at you. Snaps back at you.
She's like a rubber band. You pull her hard and you let go, and she snaps back at you.
Yeah. So, and you did that one. Did the next, and then there's one here. What do you call somebody who goes out get?
You do so well. I don't know how you do it.
What do you call somebody who does something who does something get? It begins with a D, I think.
We have to give up on that one? Okay.
Something. To do.
Sorry, Joe.
All right,
You're probably very funny, and I'm sorry.
And it has the punchline there. I can't see it. You can put. Let me see. It says, "Thank you, medallion or medition."
Well, thanks.
You can put something looking in. This is general. It begins with a W. Wore
Won't come,
them
huh?
up.
What, dear?
I'm sorry, I just can't make it out. It was
All
just
right.
burn cookies down here.
Oh, I know what that is. You go to the dollar store and they have these delicious
Yeah.
cookies. And you bring them home, folks, and you put them in the oven. And you burn them just a tiny bit. Then everybody thinks they're homemade.
Yeah, that's the last one.
That's the last one. Thank you so much, Greg. It would have been a shame not to have told the people those jokes. I
Okay.
really appreciate that. And I'll write on it, done.
All right. Okay.
Done. 11/18/17. Auto Domini.
Yeah, I have to say that when I spend time with Glendora, when we're out in public and we meet people, and you just off the top of your head, you'll just come out and out of the blue, you come out with these quick jokes and these one-liners, and when I least expect it, you tell somebody that, and it just happens just like that, and I don't know, and it's just something where you can, some people have good memories, but just to store that in your head, where you can, store jokes and reel them off and tell them, and you don't have to like, go by a book. That's just amazing to see that. But she, Glendora's out joking and making people happy every day when we go out.
Yeah, that's the thing, Greg. It's so much fun to see him break into a smile, isn't it? And a laughter.
Yeah.
And remember that joke I told you about what happened the first time it snowed in Atlanta? The natives thought it was an explosion of grits. I told it about 16 times Thursday, right?
Oh yeah, you did.
And it's just so nice to see 16 people. The tenseness in the face is gone, and they laugh. That's a wonderful thing about people. That was my father. He was dying, he was sick. And I told him about a cartoon in the newspaper that we used to watch. It was a comic strip about a cat. And this cat did funny things, and my father loved cats. And I told him what the one was that day. 60 he was and dying of an aneurysm. He laughed.
Oh yeah, really? But that's
Yeah.
something. But yeah, they say laughter is the best medicine,
Oh, it is.
and you have to have a sense of humor. You have to try to.
You know Dr. Jocelyn,
Nowadays.
he's the, he teaches, what do you call it?
Dr. Jocelyn.
The what system? The immune system, folks.
He's a
The
teacher.
immune system, yeah. He's the chief immunologist at the State University of New York, Albany Medical School. And he came up to me one day at Seventh-day Adventist Church during lunch. And he said, that's a good thing you do, tell jokes. He says, it's good for the immune system.
Oh, is it? Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Well, when you feel good, it's all your body and your attitude and your
Good point.
and that's it. So. All right. So.
This belongs, yeah, I know what this is. This your instructions to Sandy, how to, tell the folks how you did that. How you sent that glories of a chat with Glendora to 200 people in appreciation.
Oh, we did. Well, what we did is Glendora has a little certificate that we made up about recognizing her and her the job that she's done over the years for her public
The
access
job that
show.
they've done.
And all the sponsors and the signers and the cable systems of cable casting.
And the manufacturers.
And the manufacturers of the equipment, the cameras and the recorders, and so we prepared a thank you certificate, which is a couple different pages, and
He did it beautifully.
instead of having putting the time and money into make expensive color duplicate copies to make it up to send to people, what we did is we took it and we scanned it and we digitized it on the scanner and the computer, and we sent it out electronically to a lot of people across the country in Connecticut, and we sent out
San Diego.
sent
Portland,
it,
Oregon.
sent
See,
out,
everybody needs a Gregory. I wish
So-
everybody had a Gregory.
and anyway, so instead of going through, people say you use they call it the quote snail mail, which is, the nickname for some of the, I hate to say the postal system, but the electronically we could scan it and we can email it to a number of people all at once, and it'll go right to their right to so many people, and it's the quickest way to get it to them, and it's thrifty because it's there's no postage involved.
But I wonder how many people read it. Do you think people read their email?
Probably yes, they do. Yes, they do. When like 9 times out of 10, there's a marketing is involved, and for an ad or marketing, if they're trying to sell something, many people they just dismiss that right away or erase it. But when we sent it from your email, and you see the subject is a chat with Glendora, and they see that's not they'll go look at it, and they see that you're not trying to
Sell them anything.
you're not trying to shill or sell something to them, and this is just recognize a certificate with a list of all the cities and your municipalities across the country that cable cast your show, but I think people are more apt to take a look at that, and they will recognize that, and they see that, and you've gotten email responses back from people saying, "Oh, Glendora, this is terrific, this is very good for you," and so we did get a response from that. We got
thanks for
responses
sharing.
back. So.
Now, what is this, Greg? Is that more jokes?
Here let's see. It's
No!
it's the list of
Oh,
words.
yes, Greg.
It's the
Would you be so kind as to start with the one
the vocabulary.
below, let's see, a blow, a bash.
Yeah,
The
I
one
see
below a bash, well, that's our words.
that. Yeah, I see that on here.
Fixing up our tired vocabularies.
Yes.
Overworked words. Don't have any meaning anymore, or any emotion.
Because people judge you by the words that you use. Anyways, a bash is here, and
I did a bash.
you
What's
did
below
that.
a bash?
Below that is abbreviate.
Yeah, what does abbreviate mean? It means to, let's see. It means to reduce the number of words to explain something. And make it faster, right?
Yeah,
That's what abbreviate means?
Yeah, to shorten.
That's a good word.
And,
Maybe we should abbreviate a chat with Glendora.
That would be hard. That's not easy to do. But you have a big story to tell, and it takes a long time to get the word out to people.
That's why people in Manhattan, they have a very interesting way of making a long story short. They interrupt you.
And that's abbreviate. Then down on here is number 8. I'm not very familiar with it. It says ABECE.
Oh, an abecedarian? An
Cedarian.
abecedarian is somebody who likes to put things in A, B, C, D, E order.
Yeah, it says
Like a librarian.
Abecedarian. That's an actual word. That is.
Well, I think Webster's Collegiate Dictionary, G.C. Merriam, in Springfield, Massachusetts, was having a little humor in their great volume. And they made sort of a funny, cute little word, ABCD-darian. ABCDarian.
Webster. Yeah. And the next one is abdicate. It says,
What's an advocate?
ABDICATE. Yeah, there's no definition. I don't see the definition.
There isn't?
No. I don't see
Okay,
it.
an advocate is somebody who presents the cause for another.
Abdicate.
We are advocates for animal sweetness and kindness. We present their cause to you. That's what an advocate is, somebody who presents the cause for another.
And also the next one is aberration, which I know what that is.
Aberration. Is that departure from what is normal, natural? Could you read it to me
Yes,
again?
it says a deviation from what is right, it says. Yeah, deviation from what is right. Yeah.
Killing animals, and over on the other side, I think there's another word. A right, right. Any other word there? Right, deviation from what is right. Then over the other
Oh,
side.
it says it says natural or moral.
Natural or moral. Deviation from is right, natural, and moral. Killing animals and eating them is an aberration, a very severe one. Gee, that was fun, Greg. I'd like to have you see this picture. Greg, could you get it closer to the lens?
All right.
You got longer arms.
Sure, I could do that. Yeah.
Greg is always, whenever I go to any, you don't have to get up, honey. Just,
All right. Yeah, this is a
well, let them see it.
Vegetarian Day poster. This is one of the Vegetarian Day posters that I've been leafleting in the area. Last night and the other day, we dropped off.
Yes, thank you for that.
Dropped off some literature about promoting.
And on your way
plant-based
home,
diet.
Greg, you can drop off the rest of these posters.
Yeah. Okay.
Now you see
Yeah,
what
I'll
this
do that.
darling little creature
I could
is
do
saying?
that.
He's worried. He's scared. He's saying, are you going to hit me? Are you going to chop me up? Are you going to kick me? Are you going to electric prod me? Are you going to put me in that stinky truck? Are you going to keep me from having a bath and going in the stream? Are you going to give me any good food? Are you going to chop me up and eat me? That's what that little sweet thing is saying. That little sweet thing has a right to live its own life that God gave him.
Yeah, and you have a lot of packaging, vegan packages there. No?
Yes, would you do a close-up on that to the camera, sweet?
Sure. Yeah.
There's another little
This
help.
is a little.
No, don't read it. I'm just showing the.
Yeah, there's another one right there.
Hold it there a while. Thank you.
The vegetarian.
You know, Greg, I was in live television for many years before we ever had tape. And one thing I learned in the studio is that when you hold something to the camera, you give the cameraman a chance to get a close-up of it, and you hold it there steadily, almost for a minute.
Yeah.
And then you give the cameraman a chance to pull away, and then you put down your piece.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What's this picture? It's only the pictures I'm interested in showing.
All right. Sure. The it's a picture of like wheat. It looks like wheat in a field, I guess. All right. There we go.
Now, hold it there now.
Oh,
at least
sure, I know.
30 seconds. Give me
All
a
right.
piece.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Thank you, dear.
And okay. All right.
This is the last one. It's from the North American Vegetarian Society. And Sharon called me twice, and I'm going to call her again and again till I reach her.
There we go.
Greg, this prayer came in the mail to us from James Dixon, a fan of a chat with Glendora in Manhattan. And you read it so nicely. Can you read
Oh,
it?
this prayer. Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, James Dixon. He mailed a significant amount of things to you there, and this was one of them. It says I said a prayer for you today. That's the title.
Yep.
I said a prayer for you today, and know God must have heard. I felt the answer in my heart, although He spoke no word. I didn't ask for a wealth or fame. I knew you wouldn't mind. I asked Him to send treasures of a far more lasting kind. I asked that He'd be near you at the start of each new day. to grant you health and blessings, and friends to share your way. I asked for happiness for you in all things great and small, but it was for His loving care I prayed for most of all.
Mm. Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, it's a very good. So
Yeah, thank you so much. These are wrappers. We eat this vegetarian meat, and you get it at all of the supermarkets. You get it at Walmart. What's this one about, Greg?
yeah, this is a wrapper from Morningstar Farms, and this is for veggie burgers, grillers, originals. They're it's a burger, yeah, veggie burgers, which I eat many. I eat many veggie burgers. When I go out, I'll have if they have a veggie burger in the menu, I'll order it. So, and
And this is the best vegetarian hamburger, I think.
yeah, they
It's
call them.
called Grillers, Original Grillers by Morningstar Farm. The best one used to be Fry Pats, but they've discontinued them.
Yeah, and it says provides 24% of the recommended amount of complete protein. It says here.
Plant protein, very powerful. Better than meat protein any day. Nuts have much more protein than meat. This one, Greg?
Yeah. And this is also from Morningstar Farms. This is a veggie burgers with a tomato. They're a tomato and basil pizza, and it's an Italian style veggie burger with tomatoes and basil, which is I've had one of these and they're very good. So
I don't like them, folks, because they put jalapeno peppers in them. Jalapeno peppers are,
peppers.
they're not
yeah,
fit to eat.
You don't think so?
No, but
You don't like that?
I have a lot of friends who want that hot stuff.
Oh yeah.
Now, Greg, tell the folks what we do with these wrappers.
Well, what we do is we'll buy the food, and when Glendora consumes the food, we save the wrapper, and Glendora we clean the wrappers, and what we will do is put them in the mail, and we'll mail them out to different people across the country or different organizations there, trying to promote a plant-based diet, and we mail them to different the little cartons or the wrappers to show people basically show them another way of getting protein, and not by eating meat but by eating vegetable burgers and things like that.
You summed that up very well.
So, and this is Morningstar Farms Morningstar Farms veggie meal starters steak strips.
I didn't care for those.
Lightly seasoned veggie steak strips, or I think I had some the other day.
Well,
there,
I
so.
got around it, folks, by putting water in the huge skillet. And then I put in potatoes and let them cook. Chopped up the potatoes in small pieces. Then I put those in. And then I put in lima beans and a can of cream of mushroom soup. It was delicious, and served it on home-baked bread. But I did not care for those, honey.
Oh, you did not, so.
No, what are they called?
Oh, steak strips.
No, I did
Yeah,
not
you
care
don't
for
care
them.
for
And
that.
I do not care much for steaklets either by Worthington Foods.
Yeah, this is the Morningstar Farms veggie dogs. That's what these are. And,
They're so-so, but the best ones are Leanies. Leanies, made by Worthington
Yeah,
Foods.
veggie dogs
Leanies.
right here. So.
They're frozen. Leanies, Leanies.
Yeah, leanies.
Greg, I'm unable to read this letter. This is the envelope.
All right.
Do you see the letter, hon? Is
this
that the letter?
This is
What is that?
this is a envelope. This is the. This was mailed to you. Something about the automotive services. something about maintenance for vehicles or something like that.
Is it an ad?
I think it's a. Well, I think this is some kind of a. Well, being that you don't have a car on the road right now and you haven't driven in years, it's kind of curious that this would be mailed to you. But this is from the top of it. It's notice date 10/27/17. It says Automotive Services Department, vehicle document alert notice, personal and confidential. It says. Example repair invoice enclosed, and it's addressed to you, and it says immediate response to this notice requested. It says, and it says our records indicate that you have received multiple notices and have not contacted us to update your auto file, and it says please call, and they give you the number here today. Si habla español, it says. It says you are receiving this notice because your factory warranty will expire or may have already expired based on the mileage and age of your vehicle.
And this is a 1980 Lincoln they're talking about?
It says based on the age of your vehicle. If you have updated your coverage, please call to verify.
The car's been off the road for how many years? 6?
Well, a number of years, but it says
3. 4.
It states by neglecting to replace your coverage, you will be at risk of being financially liable for any and all repairs after your factory warranty expires. It says.
Well, who sent it there?
It says, well, however, you still may have time left to activate your service contract on your vehicle before it's too late. It says no inspection will be required. And anyways, they give you options on here about things, and this is a quote like an example invoice, and to look at it, it looks like it's a bill. But you look at the call no later, act immediately, and on the other side this says I'll show you what it says right there. Up at the top it says repair examples.
Who said it?
There's really not even a hard address on this here that I see. They just give you a phone number. I don't see like a real address, but I think this might be kind of a little bit.
You think it's a scam?
Well, I hate to say words like that, but
I'm sorry.
it says, potential. This is an example here. Potential expenses, and they have an account ID, and they talk on here about with last year's dates. Fictitious dates of activity, and it says main engine computer charges $800, engine $4,300. Then it says towing and air conditioning unit $1,500, and the water pump $495, and they add this up to a total, and then it says let the policy pay this for you, and like if you get this policy, that's going to pay for that. But it says here at the bottom, call today so you don't have to pay for these kind of repairs out of pocket. It says
Oh, I get it.
and it says example of actual repair costs. It says do not pay, but then they put their number at the bottom of it, and it says. There's it's a service contract for a vehicle that they're trying to market, and the administrator of the service contract is Interstate National Dealer Services Incorporated.
Yeah, okay, I've had enough, honey.
All right, that's a lot of.
That I'm going to keep.
I think it says Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia?
Well, it's kind of a.
And how is it addressed, honey? Is it addressed to resident or Glendora Buell? Or?
Well, it says Glendora up at the top of it. It's got your address there, but I've never seen something like that. But it looks just like a bill, but she doesn't have a car on the road. She has no bill for expenses now, but you wouldn't know what to look at that.
But I have Gregory, who every 2 weeks takes a 1980 Lincoln and uncovers, takes the budge car covers off of it, and turns the ignition, and it starts on the first crank, doesn't it?
Yes, they do. Yes,
And he drives them around this huge
the
driveway,
cars.
this huge backyard.
Cars. Well, I've known Glendora for at least 10 years, and from my experiences with the cars is the cars right now, they're running better now than they ever have, and you get in and Glendora's got the battery's good. You turn the key and the car, there's gas. The car starts right up, and both the 1980 and the 1993 they both still perform very well.
Well, thanks to you. You're the one who keeps those cars in shape.
Thanks to the Ford Motor Company.
Now, let me explain that the 1993 is just a town car, but the 1980 is the year that Ford made the Mark VI electric car and made the 4-door. That was the first year. And so it's 3 cars. The 1980 Lincoln Town Car Continental Mark VI.
Yeah, beautiful cars. They're beautiful.
Thank you for keeping them going. These are these vegetarian meats, Greg. Can you read these to me, or is my writing so bad?
Yeah.
What is that, hot dogs?
It
We
says
have dozens of vegetarian hot dogs. The best one is Leanies, frozen. Next one
it
is
says steaklets.
steakless, so-so.
And this Swiss steak.
Swiss steak is pretty good. .com, you should be over here giving your opinion of these things. You're the one who eats them. And the next one is...
She is around here somewhere. Tender bits.
Oh, tender bits. They're excellent. It's a pork substitute. They're shaped like flying saucers. And you can do all kinds of things with them. Pork substitute.
They're pretty good, so.
And they're good, huh? You like them?
Yeah, and I think that says, tender,
Tender rounds. They're different altogether, Greg. They're,
we put an R in there.
they are meatballs. Excellent.
Oh, okay.
And what are the others?
And yeah, this list is at top of the list. It says hot dogs. It says bologna.
Bologna is good.
The
And
bologna.
it's, this is nutritional bologna. This is really good.
And this is an unbiased opinion from Glendora right here, and from experience.
Yeah.
Says there's chicken. It says bologna
Chicken, yes. We have fried chicken, which is a chicken breast, a breaded chicken breast.
And then there's turkey. Turkey.
Yes, and we have 2 kinds. We have sliced turkey, and then we have the smoked turkey that's in a delicatessen roll, and we will be having that for Thanksgiving the last Wednesday of this month.
And it states salami.
Salami, that's good.
And it says it says ham, but I know that it's called wham, right?
Isn't that good?
The wham, that was good. The wham was good, and it's like a ham meat substitute. And when you slice it up, and you can grill it or fry it in a frying pan and heat it up, and it's very tasty. And we during Glendora's vegetarian supper, I think there was guests here, and I think it was at the end of the supper it was all gone. I think we ate it all up. So.
Yeah, I use it as an entree.
And this is fry pats.
Now, fry pats, that's discontinued. No, it isn't. I discontinued it. They changed it. It was bought from Kellogg's, and they changed it, Greg, and I just don't think it's even edible. So I don't buy fry pats. Instead, I buy Morningstar Farms grillers.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
And this is, I think this says Leanies.
What, dear?
Leanies?
Oh, Leanies. I told you, they're the best hot dog there is.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What's this, Greg? Oh, Philly Cam. I talked to their executive director, Gretchen. It was a very friendly conversation. They are remiss in not playing a chat with Glendora for the people in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, because A Chat with Glendora is showing people the only way to be happy, and that is to serve others and be selfless. And that message should not be denied to people in Philadelphia. What should they do? We should send them the DVDs. They do take a DVD, or we can do it by computer. And they should be cable casting A Chat with Glendora in Philadelphia. I've waited for 2-3 years for this. But maybe it will come through like Hartford. Weren't you? Tell the folks about Hartford.
Oh, Hartford. Well, we originally, a number of years ago, Glendora was making an effort to get her show on in Hartford, Connecticut. And so we had this show, we're ready to go. We traveled down to Hartford, to the location of it, to the studio. And originally, years ago, we applied, and I think we did get the show on a couple of years ago. It was on for a little bit, and then then there was some changes, or they changed their procedure.
Julie left and Gil Martinez took over.
They changed the schedule of the application process, I guess, and we were having trouble getting the show on in Hartford. And through sponsors or whatever, we drove. I drove Glendora into Hartford, and we've driven down there a number of times. And years ago, it was all set up working okay. Then there was changes and things happened. Then her show was not on, so we have to go get another signer now. And now we recently have a new signer, and was it Mary Lawrence?
Mary Taylor.
Mary Taylor. She helped be a signer for this show, and we got in contact with her, and Glendora, from what I've heard of Glendora, she's back on in Hartford, Connecticut now, and her show's back on.
11 p.m. Sundays. Thank you.
Which there was a lot of effort put into that. And,
we did. How many times did we go there to that TV station? Maybe 4?
Yeah, well, no, at least 3 or 4 times.
And that one time we went in December, tell them what happened that night. They have these producers' meetings once a month. They did. Now they're a quarter. And this was in December, about, I'd say 2012?
Yeah, yes, I think so. But you mean with the snow?
Yeah.
Yeah, we drove to, started as a nice sunny day up here, and we drove down to Hartford there to take care of the business there. And
the TV station.
At the station, and I guess it was my mother's Subaru, and so we drove down there, and I guess it was later in the year as it is now, and the days are shorter, and it gets darker sooner, and by the time we left to come back home.
The funny thing is that it was bare ground when we went in. We came out, and everything was white.
Yeah, it was a bare ground. So during the course of the meeting, we went to the producers' meetings there, and we come out, and at the end of the meeting, and I think it was close to 7, 8 o'clock at night, I think, and lo and behold, it was all white. It had been snowing. The snow started up, and there was at least I think maybe it was snowing when we left, and we left to go come back north. Come back home, and I remember driving the Subaru has all the time 4-wheel drive, which is very good, and so we ended up coming back in a snowstorm, and we instead of going the speed limit, we had to slow down to 35, 45 miles an hour. We're going up and down in Connecticut. There's some significant hills. It's kind of a hilly state, and so we were driving back home, and it was almost like a snowstorm driving back. And we got back. I think we got back home like, what was it, late? Like,
it was midnight.
It was almost like 11 to 12 o'clock at midnight
so
by the time we got back.
Hours. And he was such a good driver, folks. He really handled that car beautifully. And we saw one car off the road.
Yeah,
and we couldn't help him, but help was on the way.
Yeah, it was.
That was an experience, wasn't it, Greg?
Yes, I don't think that I don't think that was on the weather report. I would have known it if when we left. We would have known about that ahead of time. But but that's the way it turned out. It was kind of a snow squall kind of popped up, and there must have been at least more than 2 inches.
And these
of
were
snow.
back roads, folks. We didn't take main roads. These were back roads. Because we went straight northwest. And you take all these back roads. Very nice, though. And the last time we went, it was 91 degrees. So you see what we did to get that message to the people.